But see, Charlie's murder is different. We're catching them in live time trying to tell us something that can't possibly be true. There's simply no way, right? We didn't do a good job at 9/11. Remember, Building 7 just fell down like that. It was never contacted. It was just on fire. And of course, it fell down like a casino in Las Vegas that is now being replaced. And so they're saying it again, don't believe your lying eyes. And we're saying again, hey, you lied to us about COVID. You lied to us about Epstein. You lied to us about the 2020 election. So we don't believe your first answer on what happened to Charlie Kirk. Try again. That's the message from the people, not letting you get away with this one too. When you got away with 9/11, you should have stopped there. But Israel's so greedy, they said more. And why would they want Charlie out of the game? Well, Charlie was saying, I no longer can do business with this Zionist, Jewish first, Israel first person. His donors were saying, do it like this because it serves Israel, or we're not going to give you the money. And Charlie said, I'm done. So let's think about this. Who would be more offended in the two scenarios? What would cause more rage or fear or concern? Tyler Robinson is happily in a relationship with Lance Twigg. And they see what Charlie's saying. A man can't become a woman. And it's true because XY and XX chromosomes, you can't change them. It doesn't matter how much makeup, how many surgeries, how many hormones, DNA, that's the tiniest element inside of your body. You can never change it. And that's what Charlie was articulating to that community. And that probably did upset him because here he's with Lance and he's telling Lance what a beautiful woman he is and that he's madly in love with her. And he's got Charlie Kirk, influential Charlie Kirk, saying you can't become a woman if you were born a man. So I believe, yes, for those that have been captured by that thinking, that probably pissed him off. And he says, honey, I'm not going to let him talk to you like that. Why don't I go get granddad's gun and I'll drive in the middle, it's 3 hours away. I will drive there. I'll scout it out. I'll do it in your honor. I'm going to go up the roof with the gun unassembled. This is how much I love you and want to serve you, my dear. But I'm going to go up there with it unassembled. I will bring the flashlight or the screwdriver and I will put it together up there for you in your honor, sweetie. And then I will, first shot out of the gate, put that scope on his neck, and I'm going to drill it first shot for your honor. I'm going to ditch I'm going to disassemble it, ditch the screwdriver, jump off this roof. This is a high roof, honey, but I'm going to do it for you for your honor. Okay. And then I'm going to slide down and I won't give any palm prints. They can't match my palm prints. So I'm still doing this. I'm going to take that gun into the woods. And this time, in your honor, I'm going to assemble it with no screwdriver. And I'm going to leave it there for the cops to find later. And before I come see you tonight, one last time, my sweet love, I'm going to stop at Dairy Queen and I'm going to get something so refreshing after such a long. Okay, so there's that scenario that could have played out. The other one was this major attack on the Jewish lobby, AIPAC, as you might hear it. But that Zionist, Israel first, and not just Israel first, but Israel all the time until further notice. Very dominating, very needy country, always needing our full attention and resources, right? And Charlie was speaking to a group of folks, they call it 16 to 35 was probably his sweet spot. It's a generation significantly below our baby boomers who are currently captured by the Zionists. It's only your baby boomers, the MAGA baby boomer, 62 to 80 years old, typically white, voted for Trump. Okay, they're going to tell you that they've grown up since day one, knowing that Israel is to be placed above all, that they are a special people, that we are to serve this special people, and that they don't even have to follow the Lord Jesus Christ. That Jewish DNA gets them into heaven. This is the Zionist boomer thinking. They're captured. Charlie was speaking to a group because our boomers are going to die, 62 to 80 years old. We're not going to get much more out of that generation. So that support for Israel just goes off a cliff. And without a refill coming up below it, that's a major problem for Israel. Major problem for Israel. That stops. They no longer fund it. They don't have any passion for it. They don't believe the sermons in church when they say, if you don't bless Israel, God will curse you. That crowd is going to die and no longer be influential in the Zionist movement. In fact, you might have an overwhelming. Israel has gone from 2/3 approval to 1/3 approval here in America just since October 7th. It's only getting worse. And the group of folks that Charlie was talking to was no longer going to participate in that game. So what was more impactful? All this power play and all the money that crosses from the United States into Israel and everything that the money touches in the form of war and in aid and then in campaign contributions. We know AIPAC gets candidates elected. Just go ask Thomas Massey. 32 million for the 4th Congressional District in Kentucky. And a Jewish person, an Israel First person, bought the seat and put this Ed Gallerin, whoever nobody's ever heard of, a nothing boomer guy himself. No, that's not going to work here in America. So Charlie was essentially cutting off at the neck below. They were going to get those seniors for however long that group can stay alive. 18 to 35, though, was out. They were no longer going to participate in Israel First. They like America First. They have it much different than the grandpa and the great grandpa. Okay. So Israel was panicked. AIPAC was panicked. And they simply said, well, we can't let this movement, where it already looked like crap compared to the world for what we've done in Gaza. That's clear. They did a nosedive the moment we started seeing images of the rubble in Gaza. And I know Israel has a right to exist and they have a right to protect. I've heard that so many times, makes you want to puke, just like Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. But they killed 50,000 children. So apologize if I don't look at that country as the victim or the good guy. Okay. On the show, any country that kills 50,000 children, you're not getting my help. You're not getting my support. Got it? Good. And that was the sentiment coming out of America. Of course, the left hates Israel for other reasons, but then half of the right decided to say, I'm out, I'm good. And that number's only growing. Israel will need something terrible to happen to it to gain our sympathy back. And of course, they're already going on now again. If you remember around the time of the Butler shooting, the Thomas Crook shooting, the ear shooting, the one that we questioned, why wouldn't you want an investigation into what happened? How on earth did this autistic boy fly a drone, get on the roof, not be confronted? How did all that happen? Don't you want to know? We know everything's on the up and up. We're just asking so it doesn't happen next time. Shouldn't we find out? And of course we should be finding out.